Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Umi Sekini Muhammad. Matric number 283348. Today, I would like to present about Mudarabah Contract. Definition of Mudarabah Contract. Mudarabah is a partnership contract between a capital provider, Rabbul Mal, and entrepreneur, Mudarib, which is the Rabbul Mal provide the capital to be managed by the Mudarib, and any profit generated from the capital is shared between the Rabbul Mal and Mudarib according mutually agreed profit sharing ratio. Pillars of Mudarabah Contract. Number 1, Sirah, mutual consent. Offer and acceptance, ijab and qabul, either in writing or verbal, using a language that can be understood by both parties involved. Number 2 is Ras al-Mal, capital, a form of cash that has been set in amount. All types of economic activities that are halal according to Islam. Number 3 is Rabbul Mal, which is provider of capital. It must an adult, sane, and ready to hand over his capital to the entrepreneur as the agreed amount. Number 4 is Mudarib, entrepreneur or fund manager. It must an adult, sane, and able to manage economic activities without the intervention of capitalists. Partnership right between capitalist and entrepreneur. It is divided into according to the ratio that has been agreed in the contract. This is the condition of Mudarabah. Number 1, form of capital. It is cash whose value is determined and handed over the entrepreneur after an agreement with agreed terms. Number 2, profit sharing percentage. It is determined during the contract. Number 3, loss. If it happens, it will be borne by the investor, while the entrepreneur will not gain anything if the business project suffers of loss. Number 4, afford. The business project carried out must be halal from the point of view of Sharia. Lastly, liquidation. It can be done at any time before the project work is done by the entrepreneur. Types of Mudarabah. Mudarabah is categories into 2 types. Number 1, unrestricted Mudarabah, which is Mudarabah Mutlaqah, is a contract in which the Rabbul Mal permits the Mudarib to manage the Mudarabah capital without any specific restriction. Number 2, restricted Mudarabah, which is Mudarabah Muqayyadah. A restricted Mudarabah is a contract with which the Rabbul Mal imposes specific restriction on the Mudarabah term. The Rabbul Mal may specify conditions restricting the Mudarib, such as the determination of location, period for investment, types of project, and commingling of fund. There are 5 components of Mudarabah contract. 1. Contracting parties. The contracting parties in Mudarabah consist of Rabbul Mal and Mudarib. Rabbul Mal and Mudarib shall have legal capacity to execute contract, including the capacity to perform agency, wakalah, contract either as a principal or as an agent. The contracting parties in Mudarabah may be a natural person or a legal person. The contracting parties in Mudarabah contract may involve more than one Mudarib or Rabbul Mal. In In the case of Mudarabah involving more than one Rabbul Mal, an agreement among the Rabbul Mal may be established whereby, number one, an existing Rabbul Mal agrees to relinquish his right over certain portion of profit if he withdraws from the Mudarabah to its maturity date, and a new Rabbul Mal agrees to assume liability in respect of the Mudarabah which is already in operation prior to his participation. Management of Mudarabah. Mudarib shall have the right to manage Mudarabah venture. Mudarib is responsible to ensure proper management of the Mudarabah venture and acts to the interest of the Rabbul Mal. Mudarib may assign Mudarabah capital under his management to another Mudarib in another Mudarabah or to another manager, subject to the condition that the consist of Rabbul Mal is obtained. Mandate of the Mudarib shall be provided under the terms and condition of the contract. Rabbul Mal not involved in managing Mudarabah venture but shall have a right of access to reasonable information regarding the Mudarabah venture. Capital is an asset provided by Rabbul Mal to the Mudarib for the purpose of Mudarabah. Mudarabah capital shall be provided by Rabbul Mal and managed by the Mudarib. Mudarabah capital shall be identifiable, readily available, and accessible for Mudarib to commerce business activities. Mudarabah capital may be in the form of cash or in kind, which may include intangible assets. The Mudarib shall not be liable for any impairment of assets unless such loss is due to the Mudarib misconduct, litigation, or breach of specific term of the contract. Loss. A loss is depreciation from the value of capital. Loss shall be borne by the Rabbul Mal up to capital value. The Mudarib shall not be liable for any impairment of asset unless such loss is due to the Mudarib's misconduct or breach of specific terms of the contract. In the case of multiple Rabbul Mal in a single Mudarabah, the loss shall be borne by each Rabbul Mal to his capital contribution. In the case where Mudarabah committed or injected his own fund to the Mudarabah, the loss shall be borne based on the proportion profit. Profit sharing is the primary motive of the Mudarabah contract and therefore it is the fundamental component of the contract. Profit is the value created over and above the Mudarabah capital, which is determined based on profit determination method acceptable by market standard or practices. The Mudarib shall not warranted any profit. The legitimacy of the Mudarabah contract. Number one, the Al-Quran. The following verse of the Quran implies the general personality of commercial venture including Mudarabah for the first sources, which is evidence taken from the Al-Quran, the verse 20 of Surah Al-Muzammil. The said by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala as follows, which means He knows that there will be among you those who are sick and those who walk on the face of the earth, seeking some of Allah's mercies, and others who fight in the way of God. Al-Muzammil verses 20. From the Quran, the implementation of the Mudarabah Contract must be either absolute or muqayyad, conditional bounds. The entrepreneur does not fear the loss except because of his behavior that goes beyond the limit and deviated. Number 2, the hadith. Suhaib reports that the Prophet Muhammad SAW said, 3 matters that have the blessing of Allah, a different say Muqarrada, which is Mudarabah, made circulate Bukhari for domestic and not for sale. Riwayat Ibn Majah, number hadith 2289. Based on the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad SAW characterized Mudarabah in the business of buying and selling transaction in the Islamic economy. Blessing will be present if you perform Mudarabah. This agreement is also encouraged because have fair terms. This condition, if breached by the Mudarib, may cause the Shahid Al-Mal to be exposed to the risk of loss. In conclusion, from the explanation and evidence, it is found that Mudarabah can be practiced as one of the tools in the economic offense of Muslims in Islamic banking. Furthermore, the scholars made a general method of jurisprudence that basically all forms of mu'amalat can be done unless there is evidence that prohibited it. Looking at the general arrangement, Mudarabah contract are requirements in Islam as long as there are no issues that can make them illegal or void.